If you own a business, at some point, you're probably going to need to apply for an EIN. In this week's episode, I'm going to dive in and tell you a little bit about what an EIN number is and how to get one for your business. Now, an EIN is also known as a business tax ID. So think of it as your social security number, but for your business. What it is a 9-digit ID number that's assigned by the IRS. You can get one really easy. Most people think it's pretty complicated, but it's not. What you'll use this number for is for filing your business tax returns, using it when issuing your payroll. It also comes in really handy when you're opening up your business bank accounts, which I have talked before about. So make sure that you listen in if this is something that's still on your to-do list. Now, there's 2 things that you need to know before you apply for an EIN. You've got to determine your eligibility. So what that looks like is you have to make sure that your business is based here in the US. The person that's applying for the business tax ID number also has to have a valid social security number here in the US. Now, if you do provide services outside of the US, just know that that doesn't disqualify you from getting an EIN. It just means that the business has to be headquartered in the United States. At the same time, the person who's applying for the EIN doesn't necessarily have to be the business owner. They could just be what's called the responsible party. So if you shift all this kind of work over to your accountant or bookkeeper to do, just know that they are able to apply for you as long as they have a valid social security number. They will have to file a form SS4 showing that they are the legal responsible party. So make sure you get that form from the IRS website as well, so that way you don't run into any hiccups. Now, here's a couple additional things that you're going to need to know in order to apply for the EIN. You're going to need to know what type of business entity you have. So that might be a conversation that needs to be had with either your accountant or your attorney, just to make sure that you're filing the right designation. Now, also, if you're a corporation, you're going to want to know what state you incorporated in. That might be another question for your accountant or attorney as well. Also, too, if you have a multi-member LLC, you'll want to make sure that you know the full names of all the members associated with the LLC. Now, there's a couple other things that you're going to want to have handy or know off the top of your head. You're going to need to know the primary reason you're applying for an EIN. So it could be that you're starting payroll, launching a new business, whatever the case may be, just know what the reason is that you're applying for the EIN. You're going to need to know when the business was started or the date that you acquired the business. What is your primary industry? And you're going to need to also know the description of what your primary product or service is. You're also going to want to estimate how many employees that you're going to have over the next 12 months, and also the first date that wages will be paid for your business. This one is another question for your accountant, and it's the closing month of your accounting year. Now, that might be December, but it might also be September. So want to double check that. Another question, whether you'd like to file an annual employer tax return instead of quarterly employer tax returns. This one is a big one that you're going to want to consult with your accountant because you don't want to make a mistake on this one. By having that form SS4 ready to go, this is going to include all the information that you're going to need. So it's very handy to print out and have, even if you are the business owner. It'll get you ready for that process so you don't get stuck and have to call your accountant or attorney 3 different times. You can just ask them all the questions up front. Now, there's 3 different ways that you can apply for an EIN. You can do it online, which of course is the easiest way, I think. You can do it by fax or regular mail. The great thing about the IRS's assistant that's on the website, it walks you through the process, makes it super easy. The great thing too, when you do this process online, is you'll instantly receive your EIN automatically once you finish the process. So you can move on with all the other things that you need to do that day once you've applied. Now let's jump in to talk a little bit more about why an EIN is so important. Again, talk with your accountant about this because there's so many different aspects of taxes, paying taxes, the IRS, all those different things. So definitely want to talk to the experts that know your business the best. But this is just a general overview to help you understand why you would want to do that. Now, there are certain types of organizations that automatically require an EIN, so I'll just run down this list really quick. So trusts, IRAs, or exempt organization business income tax returns, that one's a mouthful. Businesses that pay excise tax, for alcohol, tobacco, or firearms, businesses with a KEO plan, estates, real estate and mortgage investment conduits, nonprofit organizations, farmers cooperatives, and plan administrators. Now, keep in mind, even if you're not required to apply for one, you definitely can. It's free to you as a business owner. The biggest reason to get an EIN number, in my opinion, is so that you can separate your business and personal tax returns. Again, consult with your accountant to make sure that this is the right thing to do. But honestly, it helps you get your business bank account set up, maybe even a business credit cards, loans. It helps separate those two things so that way there's no urge to commingle funds. And I've talked so many times about making sure that the funds are separate. You don't want to mix your business and personal tax returns or your business bank accounts. It just creates for a lot of headaches as your business grows, and it's just easier to do it ahead of time. It also prevents you from having to use your social security number on anything that you might need to fill out for your business. Now, the only reason that you would ever need to change your EIN is if your structure has changed within your business. Another reason is if you inherit or purchase another business, or if unfortunately you're subject to bankruptcy proceedings. Now, if you are opening a new location at your business or changing the existing location of your business, typically you won't need to change your EIN for that. But again, you want to consult with your partner, your accountant and attorney to make sure that you're following all the required avenues for your EIN and your business. Again, there are so many reasons to have an EIN for your business. It will just make your life so much easier. And in the beginning, you might be thinking to yourself, especially if you're starting a new business or a new side hustle, why would I even need to do that? But the reality of is your business is going to grow like you are. And you want to make sure that you can do everything that you can to let your business grow and make sure that you're not commingling your funds.